existence for about 4 years. We held a forum 2 years ago for all their District 10, and we're at it again for this year. Thanks for coming out and braving the cold weather. Welcome to this District 10 Common Council Candidate Forum. We are your hosts, Crawford, Marlboro, Nakoma Neighborhood Association. Before we get started, here's an update on an issue that CMNNA has been working on. So those of you from around our neighborhood will understand this. Many of you have voiced concerns about traffic on Seminole Highway. In particular, the crosswalk at the intersection of Winslow Lane. The City Madison Traffic Engineering Department has discussed various options with us, and here's what we have asked for. Trimming more vegetation at the top of Seminole to allow better visibility, repainting the crosswalk at Winslow on the downhill side of the intersection with wide, bold, white crosswalk paint. Add more 25-mile-an-hour signs along Seminole. These are the items that can be accomplished while we continue to negotiate for our main objective, which is to get a blinking light at that crosswalk. And the winter hasn't helped get things underway, so hopefully some of this painting and some of those things will take place in the spring. We have other projects, and if you live in our neighborhood, you have ideas, let us know what they are, and we'll try to work on those too. Now we are ready to take on the candidate forum. So Molly Stentz from WORT is our moderator, and I'll just turn it over to her.
Thanks, Mary. So my name is Molly Stentz. I'm the news director at WORT, local radio station in downtown Madison, and I'll be your moderator this evening. And here's how it's going to work. We have an hour together tonight. We are going to have each of the candidates tonight introduce themselves for 2 minutes, and then we are going to dive right into the questions. Now, you may see these index cards floating around on your tables. Please fill them out with your questions, and we'll have a friendly volunteer walk them up to the stage, and we will try to address as many questions as possible this hour, giving each candidate 2 minutes to respond to each question. Then we'll let them each have closing statements, and then we'll wrap up. So that's the format for the evening. We do have timekeepers that'll just keep us on track to make sure we can get through as many questions and have as many people have their questions addressed. Fantastic, they're right in the back there. So, all right, and don't be shy, folks. There should be pens. If anybody needs it, run them on up to me and we will ask them. So, that's how tonight's going to work. We just decided impromptu backstage that we will start with Kristin Johnson. So first off, I just want to give a round of applause to our candidates for joining us and for all of you for coming out tonight. And we will start with Kristin Johnson.
Kristin Johnson from Wisconsin. I have a rhyme. Okay, so thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate everyone being here and for the Neighborhood Association for having this event. So I've lived in Madison now for almost 30 years. I've been on the west side since 1995. I live on Piper Drive over in Midvale Heights, so just down the road, and I've lived there for about 15 years. So I have deep roots in the community, and I'm excited to be running for alder. My kids have now grown and are at college. I know I barely look like I'm over 30, but I have an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old. My 22-year-old's in West Virginia doing his PhD, and my daughter is at UW-Milwaukee. And so they're out of the house, and now it's a good time for me to be able to give back to the community that's given so much to us. We've been really lucky to have them be successful in their schools and to have safe neighborhoods for them to grow up in, and a library right down the street, and a bakery, and all these wonderful things that we appreciate about District 10. So I'd like to keep doing that work and to be able to also provide us with additional safety, equity, and sustainability in our community.
Thank you, Kristin. I'm going to stand up just because I can't sit down and all of you can't see me in the back. So I've been in the neighborhood for about 4 years now. I've got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old who I spend full-time at home with currently. I've been with them since they were born. My wife was in a PhD program, and we talked amongst ourselves when we had our first child and said, hey, we want somebody to stay home with the kids. And she said, hey, I'd really like to keep going in my career. I said, hey, I'd love to do this. So upon moving to Wisconsin about 4 years ago, I moved into this neighborhood, wonderful neighborhood, and I said, hey, you know, this is the community that I want to spend time in. Here are the people that I'm going to live next to. How can I help out? And in order to do that, I reached out to the Neighborhood Association, I reached out to the Nakoma League, I reached out to the PTO once my son was in 4K, and started to get involved. I'm now the treasurer of the Neighborhood Association, co-president of the Nakoma League, and regularly attend PTO meetings. I've reached out to the surrounding neighborhoods, and this past fall when it came up that we were having our aldermanic election, I started asking around to see what candidates were looking like and see if there were other individuals that were interested. And I didn't find that interest. And so I said, this is something that I'd really like to continue to get involved, continue to give back. So in order to do that, I also was at the same time looking at other neighborhood associations to be able to see, hey, how can we collaborate? How can we grow these organizations that really serve the community? So January, I started attending all the neighborhood association meetings in the district, which has really been amazing to be able to see that support and the common goals and common struggles that we're all working with. I feel that those associations are the core of our neighborhoods to be able to promote democracy and have individuals in neighborhoods be dictating what's happening in our communities instead of it feeling like it's so distant and far away downtown. I want to bring that back to the neighborhoods, continue to grow that in the neighborhoods, and make sure all of you and myself as a neighborhood individual has that ability. Thank you.
Thank you.